Welcome to my Scrappin space. I'm Joni Martin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm here to share with you a really fun suite from the September to December mini. What do you say we get my face out of the way? There we go. And talk paper. So I'm looking at a suite from the September to December mini catalog. If you do not have this catalog, reach out to your Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, reach out to me. I'd love to get you a catalog. So this begins on page 28, and there's so much in here, it goes through page 31. Just so much stuff to see. So let's take a second first and look at the pieces, and then we're going to make this fun card. So this is for all of you who own pets or have someone you love who owns pets. I will be using this to make some cards for my nieces, Christmas cards for my nieces. We're not a pet family here. But the papers, let's just take a second and talk about the papers. They have a postal animal theme, which I'm not sure I would have thought to put together, but it's so fun. Like, look, they have animals driving delivery vehicles, but they also have, and they have a couple grids, which we're going to use today. I love paper that has a grid in it. They have 2 die cut sheets, and that's what I wanted to show you. So that's why I opened this new pack of paper here. Just grabbing the second one in here. So one sheet is more stores, homes decorated for Christmas, those vehicles, which are going to be so fun to put on something. And then this sheet are the animals and some more mail things. But just look at some of these. And they just pop out. Just like that. Check out that. So this lovely little dog is delivering something. And we're going to use 2 of these on our card today, but I wanted to show you these die cut sheets because that doesn't come with every paper pack. So the bundle that's part of this is called Jolly Delivery. It has a number of sentiments and images, so I think it's something you could use for a lot of things. And for our card today, we're using Merry Christmas and Happy Wishes, but from the North Pole, special delivery. That would be great on a baby card, from me to you, from here to there, and paw prints. Just great. There are dies to cut out the stamped images. I'm going to explain what this piece is in just a second, but it's just a really fun set. Oh, and the embellishments and the ribbon. Sorry, we can't forget that. The ribbon is white and really soft. You know, with white ribbon, you can always color it. And I love the dots. I think they're going to go great with this paper, but they're also could be used on other things too. So let's do our card first. So this is the card we're going to make. I did a background of the envelopes, and then I did a front band with 2 animals delivering mail. So we're going to do, and I'm using the Forever Plaid 3D folder. Let me show you how I'm using that. That piece on the front, right here. Look at this grid. You know how much I love a good grid? My card is matted in cherry cobbler, so I'm making the mat for the front band also out of cherry cobbler, and I'm going to emboss that. So I'm going to repeat the grid pattern here with my embossing folder, and I'm going to use just a touch of tape runner to hold it in place. I'm not going to use multi-purpose glue because when I run it through that embossing folder, we're putting a lot of pressure on the paper, and then that glue is going to go where I don't want it. And we're going to emboss first, and then we're going to assemble our card. By using those die cuts, it adds a lot of impact, but the card goes together really quick. So this is called Forever Plaid, and I'm using plates 1 and 4. Whoops. So I have plate 1. Plate 4 is the gray one that comes with your cut and emboss system. And I'm just going to send that through. Just like that. Look at that. There we go. And that's all we need because our die cuts are already cut out for us. And there. Can you see the texture? Just so easy to add a little bit to it. Okay, so I did the all the letters as my card background. But you could do this. Look at those fun guys. And that's going to go here. I have lots of pets in our extended family, so I have lots of people I can send cards to. Then this one I put about a 1/2 inch from the bottom, and you will notice it's longer than my card. That for me is just easier to line it up. So like I use the grid, and when it sticks out over the card, I can see I'm straight on that grid. I am going to use multi-purpose glue for this because it's pretty heavily embossed, but I'm just putting it right down the center. I don't want to spread out too much, and when I line it up, I don't want the glue all the way to the end because I'm going to get it where I don't want it. Again, I'm doing a 1/2 inch. It's your card. You can do whatever you want. I am going to make sure, though, when I put this on, that my envelopes are going the right way. No, we're not going to have upside down envelopes. And I'm going to set that there. I'm going to give it a second to set up, and while I do that, I'm going to fold my card base. And this is Garden Green, and I know which colors to use because my paper pack tells me what colors are used in this paper pack on the back. That's so helpful. Then let's just trim it up. And if you feel like you're wasting paper by doing this, you don't want, just make it exactly the same length. You'll probably do great with it. I sometimes don't get it on straight, and then it doesn't go to the end of the paper. So for me, this has just been an easier way to do it. Okay. Now this is flat and this is flat. So flat paper to flat paper works great with a tape runner. These envelopes, just the color tone of them kind of give an old-fashioned Christmas look. So then across the front of here, you could put a sentiment here. I'm putting animals. And I wanted to point out to you that when you punch out the die cuts, that you can choose, they have an animal going each way. So if you want to, which way you want to go across the front of your card, it may not matter, but on a scrapbook page it may, so you just have some choices. These I'm popping up. And just some little dimensionals will work just fine there. I'm going to grab the mini ones, but the other ones would work too. I just want to get them kind of, the mini ones work, and some of these smaller spaces work really well. And probably more than I needed to have on there. There we go. And we're just going to peel off the backs, and I have a little trash bowl here I put extra paper in. It does a little bit to help keep my craft table a little cleaner. I've been working harder at that lately. There we go, and sometimes they don't make the bowl, so then we just help them in there. So this is going to go here, and I measured the tallest piece, and that's how I determined what size this was. So depending on what animals or what die cut shape I was putting on there, that may change the width of that. And I will put all my numbers, like what size, the directions, what the supply list on my Scrappin with Joni blog. So you can go there to get that information. This is a fun suite. And I think it's one that maybe in the catalog, it's hard to see how cute it is. So we have 2 animals delivering mail. And then, remember those dots I told you were so nice? Let's grab those. And they come in 4 colors. So you really, and they aren't just for Christmas cards. I can see a lot of use on them. I'm using the larger ones, and I'm going to do 3. I'm going to put them against the color they pop, and I'm going to put them in a roughly triangular shape, which just means one is going to be by itself, and the other 2 will be closer together. There we go. So for the inside, I used a sentiment from the stamp set that said, Merry Christmas and Happy Wishes. And we're going to put just a touch of glue across here because I have a scrap of that paper. I love adding something from the front of the card to the inside. I think it just really finishes the card. But honestly, I started to do it initially because maybe the sentiment I wanted to use was smaller, and I felt like the inside just didn't have much oomph to it when you use a smaller sentiment. And of course, we're going to do the same thing on our envelope flap. I love this. I thought when I was making this, we have the best post office in Mineral Point. They're so helpful. Sometimes when you have handmade cards, you have questions about mailing them. They're just great. And I thought, I wonder if they'll notice that I have envelopes on my envelope. And of course, I'm going to make them a Christmas card using this envelope paper because they're just really, again, the best. There we go. We're going to trim that up. And it's going to go right inside our card. Now the other place that would have been fun to put these on is right in here too. You could do that also. Lots of places to do that. Or I could pick a different color of the dots and put them in there. And then we're just going to trim up our envelope flap. This is such an easy thing to do, but adds such impact and shows just a different level of care. Like, look at, I wanted this to be really nice for you. I even decorated the envelope. So there's our card from North Pole Delivery. But remember I said I wanted to show you something else in here. There is a die in here. See this big one right here? It makes an adorable little gift box. I'm going to quick show you how to do that because if the first time you do it, there may be some questions. So this is what it makes. It closes itself. I will tell you it's not going to fit a gift card, but I have a group of kids, more high school, that I give cash to at Christmas. They love, of course, and this is what's going in this year. So let me show you how easy that is to do. Because there's this closure piece, you kind of want to see what that is. Let me just, I put it in here so I wouldn't lose the pieces. So here we go, we just need to open it. It goes together really quickly. I think this would also be really fun, like if you want to drop off a couple little chocolates for somebody at Christmas, this would be perfect. I am thinking of like, and I did not get to the store to grab some, but I'm thinking like the little Garibaldi chocolates, perfect for there. Okay, so let's talk about cutting out this piece. So it's one piece for the actual box, but when you're cutting it out, you're going to add another piece to it. Let me show you rather than try to. So here's our die, and it fits a 6x6, okay? But do you notice here, these little notches? The dies come with 3 different openings. I'll show you from Amy's die sheet. So I have the circle one, but you could have a star that pops through or a heart. So it's this shape you can decide, and you decide it while you're cutting. So I line up those notches with those right here. See how that kind of just fits in there? That's what we're going to do. But I just want to show you a trick with that. So I do this first so I can make it easier for you when you go to do it. I'm going to set that there. Now line up my notches. And first we're going to put down, sorry guys, this. There, now we're ready to cut. I'm so busy showing you about the notches, I didn't do that. And they're going to fit right in there, but that has to stay there while you cut. So this is what you're going to do. You're just going to grab, oh, this little post-it might work just fine. A little post-it, and notice I'm putting it over the die and right on my plate. But see this piece is sticking out here? We're going to fold that back because sometimes that just slows down your progress going through. Then we're going to put another clear plate on top. And we're going to run it through. But you need to cut that notched opening, regardless if you're using the heart or the star or the circle like I did, at the same time you're cutting your actual box. And it would be easy to miss because we haven't had that kind of opening before, and so you may think, oh, I've cut out boxes before, I just use the die. You just use the die with the insert. Okay, let's get these out of the way. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to carefully put this back right away because this would be an easy piece to lose. And that would not be good. Hold on. There we go. That can go in there. And then when I pull this up. Here's the box. I'm going to fold these right on the fold line, and I'm going to give them a nice fold. Just like that. I think these would they go together really quick. These would also be wonderful if you just need a little something in like a favor box at a party. Again, I'm going to use them for Christmas, for cash at Christmas. Yeah, the kids are against these. I always do something different to put there. Like, I just don't want to put cash in a card for them. And it's fun. I'm always amazed when these high school and middle school kids are like, oh, look what she did. Yep. So there's that. Now they're all folded, right? And then we're going to pop this up. And now I did glue these ends. I'm not sure you'd have to, but here's what I found. It worked better for me to use glue dots than the multi-purpose glue, because that multi-purpose glue, one, I had to hold it till it caught, and two, it does not always want to stay where you want it to stay. So I used glue dots, and I found the easiest way to do this was, see how you roll it and you see a glue dot there? I know it's clear, you may not see it, but there is a glue dot here, and I'm actually going to just rip it at that spot. And I'm going to attach the glue dot to the paper by pushing down and peeling up. And then that glue dot goes right where I want it. So I'm going to rip it. Put the glue dot right where I want it on that little tab. And you really don't want the extra, I mean, you may be really good with multi-purpose glue, and I think it's amazing. But sometimes I get way too much. And I don't want glue inside the box. Oop, and I have a glue dot that wants to hang out on my glass mat. Nope, 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 nope. We're not going to do that. You're coming up, and we'll try again. I'm talking to you and not paying attention to what I'm doing, which can happen when I'm not even talking to you. There we go. That's going to go there. Now, I'm doing this in cherry cobbler because that's what I had sitting out. But I will share with you, you could do this in the print paper, like just think of little floral ones, that would be fun. Just anything. And I'm going to show you one more thing you can do to kind of up your game with this, but let's just put the box together first. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, so now I have a glue dot on every tab, okay? So then I'm just going to fold it up and push it down. And that glue dot knows its job. It's just going to do that. There we go. So again, perfect for a little Ghirardelli chocolate. Perfect for cash. You know what? Perfect for a little note. Lots of things. These two flaps fold in. The one with the little, that you've added that little design goes first, and then this one goes. And then you want them up, because that's going to pop up there in your closure. You pull it through and look, it stays shut. So then we have this lovely little box. Remember those cutouts that we had? I added one of those to that. You could do that. You could add a tag to it. But here's something else I did with it. Before I assembled it, honestly, but obviously, but I die cut it first. Then I just ran it through one of our larger embossing folders. And look at that, we have one with texture. So this suite has a lot to offer. You can make really fun cards. You can make little gift boxes. There we go. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it more than you know. If you liked what you saw, please share it with your crafty friends. Until next time, take care and keep crafting. It's good.